Am I live?
You are.
Excellent. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Tony from Vision's Restaurant, and Alice is doing the camera work today. And we figured since we're going to be cutting a lot of meat today, we might as well do a quick meat cutting video. So we're getting ready for a party of 75 tonight, and we're going to be cutting basically what's an IBP boneless prime rib in all effect. And this is what you would see cut into ribeye steaks, which is what we'll be cutting today. You could roast the whole thing and make it a prime rib. And basically, it should be about a 3 or 4 minute process. This is boneless, a boneless one. So as you see, this is all just straight meat. These are where the bones were attached to. And it's always good to cut your meat cold. You get nice, clean cuts. And this here is a fat cap. If you can feel this, it's kind of a hard, dense piece of fat. It has a little bit of meat in it, but not quite enough to be worried about keeping. So this is a pretty well trimmed one. Sometimes you buy them, and obviously you pay for that as far as the trim of the fat goes, but this is a pretty thin fat cap on it. So, because I've cut these enough to know kind of where I want to hit it right there. And as you can see, that's pretty much all fat. A little bit of meat. You can certainly throw it on the grill and get some snacks out of it, but not a whole lot more. But if we're making our own burgers, for example, we're grinding your own meat inside the restaurant, that's a great idea to add fat to your burgers. Generally, your burgers will have about a 20% fat ratio to meat. So this is a pretty simple process, actually. Once you cut that off, since this is pretty much already fairly well trimmed down, let me take a little bit of the fat from here, a little bit down. And we're shooting for about a 12-ounce steak, so getting off any really large pieces of fat here. You can also cut this with whatever knife you feel comfortable with. I use these knives because that's what I'm used to. Our scale here is set at 0, and since this is a pretty evenly sized loin, hopefully you can basically go down the loin and get our cuts pretty standard. 12 ounces, you saw it live. So basically, as we go down the loin, since there's not a whole lot of adjustment in the thickness of the loin, you should be able to get pretty close to it all the way down. But that's a nice looking steak. Good marbling. Ribeyes are great for that because they have a lot of interspaced fat within the muscle. You can see that will obviously cook and bar the meat to make it really nice and tender. So hopefully it's a little bit off. So I'll make my adjustment. See, the end piece here has a bit of a roundness to it since that's the end of it. You can see it's not exactly even, so that was a pretty lucky good 12 ounces. So I'll trim this just a little bit, and then we'll adjust our sizing. Spin your meat around. You got to make sure that as you're cutting, your knife can be a little bit sharp. Now, this is also 12 and down size ribeye. Prime rib loin here. And that's that nice eye that you talk about in the ribeye. So that'll pretty much be the look of the cut the whole way down. And once you get that size, basically, if you can be a pretty steady hand, you should get the same size all the way down. So that is your basic cutting of the ribeye here at Vision's Restaurant. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.